Help! My professor sent me a Zoom link and I don't know what to do with it. A lot of students are going to be in this situation very soon if you're not already. What you probably got was something that looks like this. And honestly, this is kind of confusing. So we're going to get you going on this. And what you're going to need to do is get everything set up. And then once you're ready, once it's set up, you're going to go to the email that your professor sent you that has these links in it, and you're just going to click on the link. You'll also need the password to get into the Zoom room, depending on how your professor set it up. They may or may not have used a password. But the link is what you're going to need. You're going to click on that link. Even if you've never set up anything, if you click on that, it should start the software installing for you, if you haven't already done it. Okay, so you can just go ahead and click on it and see what happens. Hopefully it'll start to install. If you're going to use Zoom on a phone or something like that, you'll need to install the appropriate app. So what is Zoom? Just to get going here, what is Zoom? It's a video conference system. So you'll be able to see and hear your professor, but also your professor can see and hear you and all your classmates. You also have the ability to share your screen. So for example, your professor can share a PowerPoint presentation or something else they want you to see on their screen, but also you'll be able to share your screen with the professor. So if you're doing something and the professor needs to see it and give you feedback, you'll be able to do that as well. It also has some other features in there, chat rooms and things of that nature, a little bit more advanced, and we're not going to get into that. You'll need to install the Zoom software or app. It should download automatically when you start your first Zoom call, but if it doesn't, or if you need a different client, if it's not working for you, you can go to that link right there, zoom.us/download#client_for-meeting. So remember, your professor and classmates can see and hear you. So you want to make sure you dress appropriately, like you're going to class. Don't show up in your pajamas just because you're at home, because that's kind of inappropriate. You wouldn't do that in class. So just think about, like, anything you're doing to do on Zoom, it should be something you would do in class. Okay? Choose a quiet area. Yeah, it might not be that easy, but try to choose the quietest area possible. When your mic is on, it'll pick up background noise. So if the dog is barking, if somebody's flushing the toilet, if somebody's yelling in the background, everybody's going to hear it. Okay, and consider your surroundings because we can see you. So if you're in your bedroom and you've got all your clothes hanging out, think about what you wouldn't want your professor to see. Okay, and think about what they can see when your camera's on, what they can hear when your mic is on. Remember, you'll need to unmute your microphone when you want to talk. When you first go in, you should probably mute your microphone if your professor hasn't done that. If not, then you're going to get a lot of crosstalk and it's going to be very hard to hear. When you do unmute yourself, when you want to speak, you should say your name first so that everybody knows who's talking. It may not be readily apparent. There's also a feature in Zoom where you can raise your hand or ask a question in the chat room, and depending on how your professor wants to proceed, he or she will let you know, which tools to use. Again, make sure when you're finished talking, you mute yourself when you're done. Otherwise, it's going to be very difficult because, again, your microphone will pick up everything behind you, and it will be very distracting to everybody else on the Zoom. Once you have everything ready, your next step is going to be to do a Zoom test. You want to test it, and you can go to that link there, https://zoomus/test, and you'll want to test your audio and your video. All right, and that'll be something that we'll go over in another video. So get yourself set, and then get ready to test.